All right, we're going to shoot a pigeon stretch video. We're going to make sure that we're only doing resistance stretching. We're not going to do passive stretching. So to get into a pigeon stretch, all too often people are actually fighting themselves getting into it. So an optimal way is going to be put your hands down, lift your knees up, basically go to a push-up position just for a second to get your other leg out of the way. And now this knee needs to come down basically right under this same side shoulder. And if this foot comes out 90 degrees, that's great, that's optimal. Often you're gonna see that your foot is way back here. That's showing you how tight your IT band is. So you're gonna try to hold your foot down and just gently scoot yourself back. So when you look around the side here, you can see my back leg. I'm actually using my rear foot to help walk myself back. And I wanted you to feel just a light amount of snugness, light, barely anything when you're in your upright position, all right? So we are going to hold ourselves up. We're going to be pushing this knee down really hard and firm. And we even want to try to kick out with this shin, right? The more you kick out with this shin forward into the ground, the more you're going to light up through this leg and the more you'll be stretching. So here we are, we're pushing down, we're kicking out, we're up tall, and we're going to allow ourselves to bring some body weight down while we resist through our leg. And we're going to come down slow. Notice that we're keeping the head up. We're not trying to get the nose down to the mat at all. I'm using my arms to help mitigate how much of my body weight is coming down onto this leg. When you're first starting off, you'll use your arms a lot. After you've warmed up that muscle and you've loosened it up and it's working better, you'll use less of your arms, but you'll maybe still keep them down. When you get much farther along, you'll use all of your body weight and you won't use your arms at all, unless maybe toward the end you'll catch yourself when you're starting to realize, wow, that's going to hit me pretty hard and I don't want to go into anything painful, because the one main rule is no pain. So this is underneath here, we're pushing down with the knee, we are kicking forward with this. The optimal place to feel this is through the side of the leg, a little bit under the leg, the outer hamstring, coming up into the hip a little bit. This is not likely to go past the midway point of your hip, all right? It could come all the way down to your knee. Now, if you're doing these stretches and you're feeling a lot of torsion, uncomfortableness at the knee, probably want to scoot back up forward a little bit, all right? So now there's nothing wrong with doing a static stretch to kind of initially loosen yourself up, but static stretching, that's not going, where you're just sitting down and holding a position, that's not going to work well. Let's talk about if you get in position and you find your knee wants to come up off the floor, or especially if you're trying to walk back and your knee comes off the floor. Grab your 3 or 4 inch roller and use that as a support to then work with the resistance stretching and make sure that you've got contact. We don't want your knee up in the air and then trying to come down. It won't work as well. So this is our basic setup for the pigeon stretch. We're also going to make one for some advanced techniques where we'll be taking that rear leg, pulling it forward into the floor, basically scissoring the legs together, all right? And then we'll talk about something called crowding the hip, which is going to tighten up around the hip and give you a lot more intensity of the stretch around the side of the hip of the forward leg. Thanks a lot.